Hey friends, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about Poppy Playtime Chapter 5. Finally, we got new official teaser messages about the next chapter. Just a few hours ago, Amber, the official artist from Mob Entertainment, posted some very interesting messages on Discord. Messages that don't just talk about Chapter 5 inches general, but also touch on the deepest secrets of the series. And yes, get ready, because one of these messages also mentions the prototype, so this is big stuff. In this video, we're going to analyze these messages, trying to understand what they're really suggesting. Because as we know, with Poppy Playtime, nothing is ever random, especially when it comes to official teasers and messages shared by developers or artists from the team. We'll connect these messages to what we already know about the story, to the narrative path of the previous chapters, and also to all the ARG material, which has become more and more important lately. So we'll try to understand whether these messages are teasing events from Chapter 5, setting up something bigger, or maybe deliberately trying to confuse us. Before we get into it though, make sure to leave a like on the video if you enjoy this kind of analysis and theories, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because here we'll be following Poppy Playtime Chapter 5 step by step without missing anything. With that said, I think we can start right away. Because what was written on Discord is much more interesting than it seems at first glance. Let's take a look at these messages together and try to uncover all the hidden secrets. Now, let's start with the actual analysis of the messages. The messages we will analyze in this video are 3. And the one you are seeing right now is the first of these 3 messages. A user asked Amber a very simple question, asking her which was her favorite character among those who are officially no longer with us. And her answer was quite direct. Mommy Longlegs and Doughy the Doughman. At first glance, this might seem like a normal answer. In reality, this message is much more important than it seems, because it gives us an official confirmation about an issue that has divided the community for a long time. As many of you know, there were several theories claiming that Doughy the Doughman had survived. If we remember the ending of Chapter 4, well, we defeat him. But right after that, it is not shown very clearly what happens to his body. This left room for many interpretations. Some fans started to speculate that Doughy might have survived, maybe severely damaged, or that someone secretly recovered him. According to these theories, Doughy could have returned in Chapter 5, maybe in a different form. In fact, some months ago, we have seen many fan-made animations set in Chapter 5 where Doughy makes his return. In some cases as a secondary antagonist, in others even as a tragic character, still alive but controlled by something. In addition, Doughy also appears in some fan games, which helped strengthen the idea that he could officially return. And yet, with this response from Amber, the situation becomes very clear. When she says that Doughy the Doughman is one of her favorite characters among those who are no longer with us, she is implicitly confirming that Doughy did not survive. So, at least as far as the main story is concerned, we can say with a good level of confidence that we will not see him again in Chapter 5. This is important because it helps us clean up the theories. Some very popular ideas, as interesting as they were, now lose strength. And it also shows us that Mob Entertainment is moving forward without bringing characters back just for fan service. Of course, this does not mean that Doughy will never be mentioned again. He could appear in documents, recordings, hidden references, or connections to the ARG, but the message is clear: his story ended in Chapter 4. The next message is very important because it is related to the prototype. So let's read it. This is the second message, and it is important because it directly involves the prototype. A user asked Amber this, to describe the prototype in just one word. Amber's answer was short, with no extra explanation. Large. We have to remember that Amber has already playtested Chapter 5, so she has actually seen the prototype in the game. When she uses the word large, she's not guessing. She's describing something she truly knows. We're also not starting from zero here. In the cinematic trailer for Chapter 5, we already saw the prototype's legs, and they were impressive right away. Just from those, it was clear we're not dealing with a normal-sized creature. Those legs were huge, massive, and immediately gave the impression of something gigantic, even though we still haven't seen the full body. But at this point, it really feels like the prototype might be much bigger than we're currently imagining. Because if just the legs are that powerful and imposing, then the rest of the body must be even more extreme. And this is where the real speculation begins. For example, the head could be enormous. It doesn't have to be proportioned like the other characters we've seen so far. It could have a strange structure, maybe built from different parts, or designed in a deliberately disturbing way. And considering the role the prototype plays in the story, it would make perfect sense for it to visually dominate everything around it. This brings us to a very important point. The prototype could be the largest antagonist we've ever faced in Poppy Playtime, not just narratively, but physically. A character you don't meet in a narrow hallway like the others, but one that occupies space, towers over you, and makes you feel small. And this would completely change the way the game creates tension. Not just chases or jump scares, but a constant, overwhelming presence looming over you, something you feel even before you actually see it. So yes, that single word, large, might seem simple, but it's actually telling us a lot. And the more we think about it, the clearer it becomes that Chapter 5 could put us face to face with something we've never seen before in the series. And at this point, we're still missing the third message, which in my opinion really ties everything together in a very interesting way. Let's move on. Now let's look at the third message, which I think makes everything even more interesting. This message doesn't come directly from Amber, but it was written by the account Seeing Reason. For those who might not know her well, Seeing Reason is that mysterious account that appeared on the Mob Entertainment Discord server. She has the role of a Playtime employee and writes as if it were still 2004. So clearly she is an account tied to the lore and the ARG, not a real person speaking out of context. In this case too, a user asked a very similar question, asking her to describe the prototype in just one word, and Seeing Reason's answer was big. Both Amber and Seeing Reason, in two different contexts, with two different accounts, and two completely different roles, use practically the same concept to describe the prototype. Large on one side, big on the other. The message is crystal clear. The fact that the prototype is a huge character is not a minor detail. It seems to be one of his main characteristics. It's like Mob Entertainment is deliberately emphasizing this concept without saying it directly, but letting us understand it piece by piece. So it's very likely that this huge size will be used in the gameplay to make him more threatening. Just being there, present, taking up space. In horror games, huge characters always work very well. They take away your sense of control, make you feel small and vulnerable. And if we think about the role the prototype has had since the beginning of the series, this choice makes perfect sense narratively as well. So, putting together all three messages, the picture becomes quite clear. Chapter 5 will not only explore the prototype, but will make his a gigantic presence, central, and probably impossible to ignore. How big do you think the prototype will really be? And, most importantly, how do you think he will be used in the gameplay? I want to thank you as always for watching the video until the end. Stay tuned for the next videos, because we will continue to analyze every new detail about Poppy Playtime Chapter 5 as soon as something new comes out. See you in the next video. Bye bye.